In 2017, Amazon made headlines with a bold announcement. It was searching for a location to build its second headquarters, HQ2. This wasn't just another office building. Amazon promised a staggering $5 billion investment and dangled the prospect of up to 50,000 high-paying jobs, many in tech and management. The scale of the project was unprecedented, and the company's reputation for innovation and growth made the offer even more tantalizing. Cities across North America saw this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, a golden ticket that could transform their economies almost overnight. From major metropolises to smaller cities hoping for a renaissance, everyone wanted in. The promise of tens of thousands of tech jobs, along with the prestige of hosting a global giant, was simply irresistible to local politicians. City leaders and economic development teams sprang into action, eager to outshine their rivals. Amazon painted a vivid vision, a bustling, state-of-the-art campus, six-figure salaries, and a ripple effect of prosperity that would touch every corner of the winning city. Local businesses, schools, and real estate markets would all benefit from the influx of talent and capital. The announcement triggered a nationwide frenzy, a modern gold rush for tech jobs, investment, and prestige. News outlets buzzed with speculation, and social media lit up with city pride and hopeful predictions. Landing HQ2 would instantly put any city on the global map as a major tech hub, attracting further investment and talent from around the world. It was a chance to redefine a city's identity for generations. Mayors who usually dealt with potholes and public works suddenly dreamed of ribbon cuttings with Jeff Bezos, their cities basking in the international spotlight. The competition felt like the Olympics, but for cities and algorithms. Each city assembled teams of experts, consultants, and marketers to craft the perfect pitch, hoping to stand out in a crowded field of contenders. For cities still recovering from economic downturns or the decline of traditional industries, Amazon's offer was a shortcut to prosperity. It was a chance to reverse decades of job losses and population decline almost overnight. The stakes were enormous. A single corporate decision could reshape a city's future for decades, influencing everything from infrastructure to education to housing. HQ2 was more than just an office complex. It was a status symbol, a declaration that your city had arrived on the world stage and was ready for the future. The stage was set for an epic contest with every city eager to play. Some offered billions in tax incentives, others promised infrastructure upgrades or workforce training programs. And through it all, Amazon was in complete control of the game, watching, waiting, and weighing its options as cities across the continent vied for the ultimate prize. Amazon's invitation sparked chaos. Overnight, city halls across North America erupted into a frenzy of activity. Local governments, economic development teams, and business leaders all scrambled to respond, knowing that the stakes were enormous. The promise of 50,000 high-paying jobs and billions in investment was too tempting to ignore. 238 cities and regions, from sprawling metropolises to small towns, threw their hats into the ring, each hoping to become the new home of Amazon's HQ2. Mayors became salespeople, pitching their cities with the flair of seasoned marketers. They produced flashy videos, staged elaborate stunts, and held press conferences, all designed to grab Amazon's attention and outshine the competition. Tucson, Arizona tried to win favor by shipping Amazon a giant cactus, a quirky gesture that made headlines and showcased the city's creativity. In Kansas City, the mayor personally reviewed 1,000 Amazon products online, leaving glowing 5-star reviews to show just how much the city loved the company. Stonecrest, Georgia, went even further, offering to rename itself Amazon if chosen, a bold move that captured national attention. But beyond the public spectacle, the real action was happening behind closed doors. Cities quietly assembled massive incentive packages, offering billions in tax breaks, subsidies, and infrastructure promises to sweeten the deal. It became a high-stakes bidding war, a race to the bottom, with each city trying to outdo the next, sometimes at the expense of their own budgets and priorities. The logic was simple: offer tax breaks now and hope for an economic boom later. City leaders dreamed of new jobs, revitalized neighborhoods, and a transformed local economy. But not everyone was convinced. Should taxpayers really foot the bill for one of the world's richest companies? Critics questioned whether the promised benefits would ever materialize. Meanwhile, Amazon orchestrated the process like a year-long reality show, collecting valuable data and insights from every applicant, information that would shape its future strategies. The media covered every twist and turn, giving Amazon a flood of free publicity and a unique window into the economic ambitions of North America's cities. In their desperation to win, cities revealed their secrets, offering up confidential plans, infrastructure details, and even future growth projections. In the end, it was a corporate bake-off on a grand scale, with every city hoping to serve up the perfect recipe for Amazon's approval, and willing to go to extraordinary lengths to win. After a year of suspense, Amazon shocked everyone by splitting HQ2 between Long Island City, New York, and Arlington, Virginia. Each city was promised 25,000 jobs and billions in investment. The split felt practical for Amazon, but like a bait-and-switch for the other cities. Instead of one new headquarters, Amazon created 2 large satellite offices. Many suspected Amazon had favored these powerful, connected locations all along. Then, just months later, Amazon abruptly canceled its New York plans. Political backlash and fierce local opposition ended the deal. Overnight, 25,000 promised jobs and billions in investment vanished. Virginia became the sole HQ2 winner. The saga turned from economic triumph to political drama. Cities were left questioning whether the contest was ever fair. The HQ2 story became a lesson in corporate power and public pushback. New York's HQ2 deal collapsed under intense local opposition. Critics balked at nearly $3 billion in subsidies for Amazon, arguing the money should fix subways, schools, and housing. Politicians like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez led the charge, framing the debate as a fight against corporate welfare. Residents feared rising rents, displacement, and overwhelmed infrastructure. Labor groups attacked Amazon's anti-union stance. Amazon cited the hostile political climate and walked away. The episode became a symbol of community power challenging corporate giants. Now, let's shift gears from local drama to the big stage of global economics: tariffs. You might have heard the word tossed around in the news, especially during heated debates about international trade. But what does it actually mean, and why should you care? A tariff is essentially a tax that governments place on goods coming into their country from abroad. When a product is imported, a tariff makes it more expensive, which means foreign products often cost more than similar items made at home. The main goal behind tariffs is to protect domestic industries. By making imported goods pricier, governments hope people will choose to buy products made by local workers and companies instead. This approach is known as protectionism, and it's been used for centuries to help homegrown businesses compete. Tariffs can give a boost to local businesses, helping them grow and even create more jobs. But there's a catch. When tariffs raise the price of imports, the extra cost often trickles down to everyday shoppers. That means when you're at the store, you might notice higher prices on everything from electronics to groceries, especially if those items or their parts come from overseas. Over time, widespread tariffs can make the overall cost of living go up for everyone, not just for those buying imported goods. Families may find their budgets stretched thinner as prices rise across the board. But tariffs don't just affect prices at home. They can also spark international tensions. When one country imposes tariffs, others often retaliate by slapping their own tariffs on goods in return, leading to what's called a trade war. This back and forth can disrupt global supply chains, making it harder for companies, big and small, from Amazon to your local shop, to get the products and materials they need. Trade wars can slow down business, increase costs, and create uncertainty for companies trying to plan for the future. The ripple effects can be felt across the world, impacting jobs, investments, and even the choices available to consumers. In the end, tariffs are a double-edged sword. While they can protect certain jobs and industries, they can also hurt consumers and the broader economy by raising prices and limiting choices. The debate over tariffs is really about who benefits and who bears the cost. It's a balancing act between supporting local industries and keeping life affordable for everyone. In 2024, tariffs are back in the spotlight. Donald Trump has proposed a universal 10% tariff on nearly all imports. That means almost everything with a made-in label could get 10% pricier. The idea forced companies to bring manufacturing back to the US and protect American jobs. Trump's plan also includes much steeper tariffs on Chinese goods, up to 60% or more. Supporters say this will rebuild American industry and reduce reliance on foreign supply chains. Critics warn it's a radical break from decades of free trade. The plan pits national interests against globalization with huge risks and unknowns. It's a bold economic experiment with consequences for every American. The stakes: higher prices, new jobs, and a redefined global economy. What would these tariffs mean for Amazon and for you? Amazon's marketplace relies on cheap imported goods. Tariffs would drive up costs overnight. Those savings on phone chargers, toys, and gadgets? Gone. Prices would rise for millions of products, hitting consumers directly. Critics say tariffs act as a tax on families, shrinking purchasing power and fueling inflation. Supporters argue higher prices are worth it if they bring back American manufacturing jobs. The debate's short-term pain for long-term gain, or just pain. Retaliatory tariffs could hurt American exports, risking jobs in other sectors. The outcome is uncertain, but the gamble is massive. Millions of livelihoods hang in the balance. The Amazon HQ2 saga and the tariff debate are two sides of the same coin: jobs, corporate power, and America's economic future. HQ2 was about cities competing for jobs with tax breaks, raising questions about fairness and corporate influence. Should public money lure private companies, or does it just fuel a race to the bottom? Tariffs flip the script. The federal government tries to protect all domestic industries by making imports more expensive. Both strategies promise jobs, but each comes with trade-offs: higher taxes or higher prices. The core question: how should America create prosperity in a globalized world? Compete for global capital, or build walls to protect local jobs? The answer will shape the country for decades. For ordinary Americans, these debates are anything but abstract. The HQ2 drama showed the double-edged sword of big business opportunity and disruption. The tariff debate asks if we'll pay more for goods to support American jobs. Both stories reveal a backlash against the old rules of globalization. The future of work and prosperity is being decided in these battles. The choices we make, local or national, will define our economic landscape. And every American has a stake in what comes next.